is everyone doing? Yeah, I had promised some time ago that I was going to give you a little bit of insight, in terms of what I do for work. Today was a very hectic day. It was a very hard day. So I think today is fitting that I tell you what's going on because really right now I do need a bit of support from my community. So here goes what I do. I work in home care for the last, I would say, 25 years. I've been in home care on some level. I package services for patients in the community, and there's no age range. I arrange for patients to get assistance with activities of daily living, right? And assistance with activities of daily living that could be, for example, if someone is at home and need help with taking a shower, meal preparation, light housekeeping, remind to take medication, accompany the patient to medical offices, go into supermarkets, whatever it is that the patient need within the scope of services. So that is what activities of daily living is. It's the services that is covered under Medicaid. So recipients who are Medicaid eligible, Medicaid will pay for the services for them pretty much for a lifetime, right? As long as they maintain Medicaid eligibility. And of course, there are other means of payment. You can pay privately for the service as well. Or maybe you have like an accident case and there is some form of a disability insurance or whatever your source of payment is. But for the Medicaid recipient, it is that your doctor, or your family member, whomever, will try to access that services for you, and that's what I do. So I help to put that services in place along with insurance companies. Now, there are two tracks of that service. One of the services is that the agency, meaning us, we can send you a certified home health aide. That home health aide would have gone to school, went through a course, graduated, and issued a certificate. Once they received the certificate, they would then come to agencies like where I work, and we would give them an well, I'm speaking from my office. We would give them an in service and an orientation and, get to know them a little bit. We would have a good little sit down, couple of hours with them and prepare them, how to go out and represent our office into the community. So that's one track. The other track is that it's called CDPAP. CDPAP, yes, those 5 letters. And what does that mean? It's Consumer Directed Personal Assistance Program. So that program is under major reform in New York. The difference between the two programs is the patients and their family member get to decide who their caregiver will be. They choose the person that they want to provide the services for them, and that person gets paid. Now, that person does not need to be certified. There is no training required. And let me tell you something, guys. I am all for that program because think of it. If I was on the other end and needing service, and I could choose the person that knows me best or the person that I'm most comfortable with to provide the services for me, of course I'm going to go for that. So with that said, that is the program that most of the patients are choosing. They're choosing their own caregiver, and I'm 100% in support of that. No, like problem, I wouldn't say problem. I don't know what word to use to describe it. But for that line of business, a lot of people got into that business because just the way the aid did not need any certification, it's the same way the business, that tracker business does not require a license to perform. So a lot a lot of people got into that business when that business became popular in New York. And as such, that business took on a life of its own. A lot of people got into it, a lot of big wig got into it, and the promotion began, and the program just really hit the ceiling. So, as such, the government now realized that, hey, we have something going on here that is just spiraling out of control, as they say. So, they're trying to sort of turn the wheel back. Guys, they've been trying to do this for the last, I would say, 10 years or so. I mean, don't quote me on it, but they've tried it twice already. And they weren't able to curtail it. So this time is the third time. And this time, guys, it seems as if whatever they're doing, it's about to really happen. What they're doing is taking away this track of business from all the agencies that are now providing this service and transition the case and their caregivers into one entity. That entity is called PPL in New York. And as such, the rest of us are left, with just wind, practically no business, because most of that track of home care business where you provide patients with activities of daily living, the patients are choosing their own caregivers. So what has happened over the last however many years, agencies like where I work have the bulk of the business is on that track, right? Because just a few people that would decided, what, let the agency send me somebody, you know. So, guys, that's where it is. The government, the authority, Kathy Hochul, have decided that she's going to take this track of business and she's just going to, roll it over into one entity. Majority of us in New York would not be able to qualify because we were just operating in New York. And one of the qualification is you needed to have provided these services in other states. And most of us, we just operated in New York. So that eliminated a lot of us already from even trying to apply to be this particular agency. And in any case, it just doesn't make any logical sense to me to take all this business from all these agencies and put it into one oligopoly. It makes no sense. I am the first to say, hey, this business needs some reform because before this tracker business came into play in home care, you would have needed to apply for a license with the Department of Health, like our office did. We went through a whole application process to get a license, right? So we have a license that we were able to secure going on, I would say maybe 8 to 10 years, somewhere there. That license right now is not where the tracker business is going. The tracker business, the track of this home care business is CDPAP. So right now, a lot of agencies, all those agencies that came into play that did not need a license and is operating, they're all looking to go out of business if this situation is to go through. And let me tell you something, guys. When I say if, I mean it is this close to go through. Why? Because for the first time, they've gotten the other two times, they did not get this far. This time they've issued directives and they've announced date of how the transition is to take place. And a lot of lawsuits that the bigger agencies filed in the attempt to see if maybe this third time it wouldn't stick. But unfortunately, some of those lawsuits have seen their day in court and nothing happened. They lost the battle. There's still a few lawsuits out there, and we're hoping that maybe something is gonna stick. But right now, the wheel is going. The transition is about to begin, right? So that's what I mean when I say, you know, a lot of us are pulling our hair out. And when I say a lot of us, I'm talking about hundreds of agencies in New York that is facing this problem. And I say problem because it is a problem. The problem is we are seeing our doors closing, right? Those of us who were lucky to have a license maybe will find some way to, regroup and reshuffle and downsize and whatever it is that business people do in order to survive and regroup and go again. Still looking at a huge percent of our business wiped away from us. So reform or restructure or whatever the word is, taking it from all of us and giving it to one person or to one entity cannot be the smart way, right? There has to be another way. I don't know, where in what universe they could come up with a decision like this. It's absolutely ridiculous. When I tell you the industry is going crazy, it is going crazy. And it's not just the agencies that are going to be affected by this. What about the supportive services that we use? The payroll company, the IT people, the software companies, the billing people. What about those supportive services that we use to help us to package these services? All of these people are affected. So when I tell you hundreds of businesses will see their door close, if this transition is to go into effect. This is what I mean. This is what I mean. It's very unfortunate, and I'm very, very disturbed about it. I'm extremely disappointed, and I'm not the only one. It's all of us in this situation. You know, when we get together as home care providers and we network and we talk, it's such a doom doom conversation because none of us have any answers. None of us knows what the future holds for our business. You know, it's very, very, very disturbing what is about to happen. Google CDPAP in New York and you will see what it is that is about to happen. It's a huge change in home care. But guess what? As disappointing as it is, and I'm not one to give up. It is in my gene, it is in my blood. We are movers and shakers, literally. We do whatever needs to be done to earn our seat at the table. And let me tell you something. In this country, what they tell you, the American dream, it is here. You come here, it's a country of immigrants, right? And I am a minority immigrant in this country. I came here, I worked hard, right? I did what I'm supposed to, what I was told to do. And, I've tried to secure that American dream for myself. And here it is being taken away from me. It is being taken away from me. And there's absolutely nothing I can do about it, right? But guess what? I'm not the only one. So when I say I know I'm speaking for a lot of people, but this is what we're facing. But guess what? I'm not one to back down and I'm not one to give up. That's not in my jurisdiction. I am going to plant my feet steady because what? I've earned my spot at that table and I'm not going to give up. And I'm going to continue on this home care service providing that I enjoy doing so much because let me tell you something guys, I have to tell you I do get a personal satisfaction out of it. I have to say because there is nothing better than providing a job for someone and then match that someone with someone who really needs the service. We take the time to truly in service and orient our aid, as to how we want them to go and represent us, right? They get the training, of course, from their training school. But when you come, it is our way that we want you to go out. We want you to wear our face when you step into that client's home, right? So we take the time to really interview our clients, not just on the hands on care that they need, but what is their day to day routine, what time they get up, what time they have lunch. What is it that they like to eat? Is there a special meal plan? what is their hobby. We get to understand the person and their environment. Where do you keep your supplies? We go into the details. This way, when we come back to our office, we can choose an aid with some sort of a personality that suits our client, in service them, orient them specifically to that patient where we want to send them. This way, guess what? When the aide shows up there, she doesn't feel like she's walking into a strange place. She's going in there equipped, educated, with some information and some detail about the patient that she's going to service. Right? And at the end of the day, the patient is going to feel what? Feel good, right? That somebody came in understanding them, understand a little bit more about them, and not just focus on the day to day, the things that they have to do, the hands on things. A professional relationship, but it's not cold, it's soft and it's warm, right? That's what I aim for when my caregivers, is assigned to take care of one of my clients. And it's like music to my ears when a client calls and say, "Hey, Paulette, you know, I am so happy. I love the caregiver. Everything works out. I'm so satisfied." This is where my personal satisfaction comes in. So I aim to please my patients and my caregiver because, guys, both parties have to be satisfied. And once that caregiver goes in there fully equipped, understanding what is expected of her, giving her as he or she as much tool as possible to walk into that door, you best believe that a good job is going to get done, and a satisfied patient and family member is what you're going to have, right? So that's what I aim for. I aim for a full package for everyone just to be satisfied and to provide services the best way we can. And I'm not going to stop that. I am not going to stop that because it is my passion. I enjoy doing it. Look, guys, lunch is right here from today. I enjoy doing it. So whatever they decide to do with this whole CDPAP business and whatever the end result is, you know, I'm not gonna not be in home care because at this point it is in my veins. But it's just that it has to be repackaged, it has to be reshaped. Yeah, so that's the story, and that's what I do for a daily living. I'll keep you guys posted. So definitely stick with me, right? I thank you for spending a little bit of your time with me. And please subscribe to my channel so we can do this together. All right? Take care. Have a good evening.